What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily, October 28th, 2022. It's just a two-man show today, me and Papa Dude. But Papa Dude, how hot were we last night? That was fun.
That was fun. And, we had the two college games we kind of nailed. And I think we picked the Ravens too, didn't we?
We had the team total on the Ravens, money line Ravens. So it looked really bad early because the Bucs came out absolutely with their hair on fire. But as soon as they got out of that emotional state, the Ravens just started to dominate the game.
Yeah, the Bucs are in trouble, don't you think? They got issues.
Playoff Lenny looks like washed up Lenny in the backfield. The offensive line can't block anybody. Brady's starting to look old finally at 45, and you got everything going on off the field too. I mean, Giselle files for divorce today with Tom, and we've heard about that and for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. Clearly tough mental state to be in right now on Brady's side, and that offense just does not look right.
No, and then the defense got gashed in the second half, and I think there's issues on the sideline too.
Yeah,
with the coaching, I think there's problems there.
I'm not a big Byron Leftwich fan. He's the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. I think that he doesn't necessarily put them in the best positions. I think they need to give this rookie White some run in the backfield too. He looked like their most explosive player on the offensive side. Yeah.
And, they're trying Herbstreit was being nice to Brady, which is fine. Kind of insinuating that him and the receivers are not on the same page. And either they weren't running the right routes or Brady was missing them.
Nope. Probably both. But he doesn't zing it as much anymore. I mean, you used to really fear. You saw him step into a few and just leave them short. I mean, there was one where they had an open receiver running down the sidelines and just couldn't get it to him.
Right.
Yep, you're right, Kevin. We got rid of the dead weight. It's just me and Papa Dude here. The heavy hitters coming in today with all the big picks. So we're going to start it out where we don't generally bet a lot, but hey, it's the World Series. We got to start out in baseball here. Got the red hot Philadelphia Phillies who just pulled upset after upset after upset, taking on the best team in baseball, probably the Houston Astros. Verlander on the mound, game one for Houston. We've got Nola heading to the hill for Philadelphia. Astros minus 170 for the game. Pretty heavy favorite in the series as well. You doing anything here, Papa Dude?
No, I think I'll stay away from this. This is a good matchup, though, tonight. I give the Phillies a chance. I do. I looked at, both these pitchers faced the other team early in October, the last week of the season. They had a series, the Phillies and Houston did. Verlander, in his game, pitched 5 innings, gave up no runs, no hits, struck out 10 Phillies in a win. And then Aaron Nola, in the day before, pitched against Houston for the Phillies, no runs, 2 hits, and 6 innings with 9 strikeouts. So both of these pitchers own the other team the first week in October, and now they're going tonight. So I think we're looking for the pitching duel tonight, and you got to go with Verlander. You just have to. You just cannot pick against him. And he's got all the experience over Nola, who's been pitching great down the stretch for the Phillies. It ought to be interesting.
It's tough to fade Verlander at any point. Total is 6.5 in the game, Michael. I don't really have a feel on the total. It sounds like the roof is going to be closed, which generally means that ball doesn't fly as well. So that's more leaning toward the under. And the Major League Baseball makes that decision, not the Astros. So you can't knock the Astros for trying to game the system a little bit here. I was looking at the exact series prices, kind of like Astros 4-2. You can get plus 340 on that. 4-1 to the Astros is plus 500. I think Houston prevails in this series. I would try and hit one of those plus numbers. Another interesting bet. I found this on Bookmaker. Give me your thoughts on this one, Papa Dude.
All right.
You can get Astros to win game one and win the series. So Verlander has to win the night and then they win the series. Minus 125.
Really?
I think that's a little bit interesting because if they win tonight, they're going to be a minus 240, 250 favorite.
Yeah.
And they're minus 175, 165 tonight. So you really limit the juice if you do like the Astros here in this series by going Astros game one, Astros series.
I agree. And those odds are pretty good. So I think if they win tonight, they're going to win this series. I do. But if the Phillies could somehow win tonight, man, we got everything turned around. We really do.
You could go Phillies win tonight, Astros win the series 4-1. Phillies win tonight and win the series plus 330.
Really?
Interesting odds there if you want to look at, and that's available on Bookmaker if anyone out there looking at it. For the under exact series prices, you've got some of these options to kind of play around with. But I'll take Astros plus 340, 4-2 exact series score.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And if you're getting that on 4-2, that's pretty good.
It's spicy.
It really is. And I think Houston's got a deeper pitching staff than the Phillies do. But this is such a key game. When you throw your ace out there, which the Phillies are not throwing their ace, Wheeler's their ace.
Mm-hmm.
When you throw your ace out there, and if he gets beat in the first game, psychologically, that's a big factor.
This game is ironically probably more important for the Astros because of what you just said.
I think so.
You need Verlander to get that win because you don't really want to be facing their ace down 0-1 at home, and you can't go back to Philly 0-2. So I think tonight's a big game for Houston. I like that. Now I'm thinking more about it. I like that minus 125 for Houston to win game one and win the series because they should come through tonight. And if they do, they're a heavy favorite in this series. You're getting a great number.
Oh, no doubt about it.
All right, let's head over to little college football. Went 3-0 last night there. So we got to head back to the gridiron on the college side. 2 games tonight. None that are really that interesting. We've got the 5-3 East Carolina Pirates heading to BYU to take on the 4-4 Cougars. BYU laying 3.5 here at home. The total 63.5. I thought this one was awfully tough. I mean, I'd lean with BYU just because of the travel and the home crowd, but I don't know if I want to lay that extra hook there.
Yeah, and the thing is, BYU's not any good. They're really not, and they're coming off another humiliating loss at Liberty. Here's the deal with college football. You got an East Carolina team that's pretty good. They thumped Central Florida last week. Do they think they can go to Provo and win? Even though BYU's not very good, I correlate this with the Utah-Florida game early in the season. I said it all along. I just didn't think Utah thought they could go in the swamp and win. I'm thinking the same thing of East Carolina. I think East Carolina might be better. So I don't know. I can't figure out the psyche there, so I'm staying away from it. The line, you're right. That half a point is kind of sketchy, but I just can't bet it. I just don't feel good about it.
Yeah, money line may be the way to go here, finishing off that Cougar parlay. I like it after Washington State last night. I kind of like the over a little bit here. It's a situation where, 130 teams that defensively, these two teams rank 117th and 107th and both have top 50 offenses. You'd expect they both can move the football. Total's a little high at 63.5, but I would kind of lean toward playing the over here if I was going to force a play on this game.
Yeah, 35-31, you beat it. And it could be that kind of a game. So I don't know. Kevin says you don't walk into Provo at night and win. Those Mormons will be rocking tonight. I don't think the Mormons are very happy with BYU right now, Kevin. I would be surprised if there's a sellout in Provo.
Well, that stadium would be the only thing rocking that night in Provo as well.
No, that's true. Mormons are like anybody else. When their team's no good, they don't care about them. So
very true. And they don't drink as much as other crowds as well. So you don't get that raucous, drunken environment either. Right. You might have it at Florida International here. You got 2-5 Louisiana Tech coming into Florida International, one of the worst teams in college football. Florida International, even though they are 3-4 with a better record, are 6-point dogs at home here. Papa Dude, any feel on this one?
Well, if I was going to bet one, this would be the one. Again, I don't trust these teams in these lesser conferences, especially bad teams in these lesser conferences. But 6 point, Louisiana Tech is not very good, and Florida International has won a couple of games here lately. I would take them tonight at home. There'll probably be 2,700 people there, maybe. Where's that at? I don't know. Is that in Boca Raton, I think? I don't really know where that is.
I believe so. It's in Ricardo Silva Stadium. Be on CBS Sports. I can tell you that much. I'm not positive. Let's see here. It's in it's in Miami, Florida.
It's in Miami. Okay, well, nobody cares, so there won't be anybody there. It's not going to be a Friday night energetic crowd at the University of Florida International, but I think they win that game. I think they're going to win it. So if I was going to bet, I would take them tonight in the points.
Yeah, I mentioned there's 130 teams that PFF ranks for college football. These are the 120th and 122nd ranked teams in the nation. So a couple bottom feeders here. You got 6 there for Florida International, which is where Papa Dude's leaning. You can take plus 194 on the money line too if you want to sprinkle a little bit there. Yeah. Both of these are in game for me. I don't know either of these sets of teams well enough to try and put anything pre-flop. So maybe I'll take a little over in the BYU game. This other one I'm going to have to watch before I make a decision on where to go. Sure. All right, we've got 2 money line parlays today. So we're going to talk about 5 NBA and NHL games. So we'll jump into those when we get to the best bets. Let's head over to Keeneland here. We're going to talk about the Valley View, a grade 3, 8th race on the card. Mile on the 16th over the turf course. Big news here. Dolce Zell scratches out late. The 5 horse was your 5-2 morning line favorite out of the race. The 3 Oakhurst also scratched, as well as the 14 Diamond Wow. So we're a little bit shorter of a field, and it's going to be interesting to see where the off odds fall now because of the scratch of Dolce Zell, who's going to be a pretty decent favorite in this spot. Papa Dude, with Dolce Zell out, where are you going on top?
Well, you just blew the whole thing for me because I did not know the horse scratched. So
that was a late one too. They didn't even announce it on the early scratches.
You're gonna have to carry me on this one, Mike, because I did not know that. I wish I'd known. I would have been prepared a little bit more because I didn't see a horse. I didn't see a horse beating that one. Really,
I had that one as a possible single, and with Dolce Zell out, I think this race is now very wide open. My second pick in the race coming into it was the 6-horse Majestic Glory. Todd Pletcher, Luis Saez. It's gonna be second time in the U.S. This horse was running in group stakes over in Europe, ran in 5 in a row over there, including winning a Group 3. I thought the race the first time at Backwood was good. Kind of had to chase a paceless race and was still able to close into it when no one else really did. So I think that race is sneaky good from Majestic Glory, even though she ran 4th there. So I thought the 6 was a little bit interesting on top. And though you can't discount the 1 California Angel either. This horse has been running well, specifically at Keeneland. Finished 4th last time out in the QE2 Cup, but won the Jessamine last year over this turf course going a mile at 16. So I would expect the 1 and the 6 are going to be your favorites now. I like the 6 a little bit more because the morning line 6-1 price, but I don't think you're going to end up getting that when they actually break from the gate.
Yeah, not that you mentioned, I did look at the 6 and love the trainer combination. I probably would go with that one first. I'm not sure the other one, the 1, I remember it too that I looked at. Those were the 3 I looked at, the favorite that scratched, and then those 2. It hasn't really done enough for me, Mm-hmm. So I think I like the 6 better than I do the 1. But I do think you're right. They're going to take some money now for sure. They have to be.
Yeah, you're going to see them. I'm guessing you're going to see the 6 and the 1 both go off in that 2-1, 5-2 type range.
Right.
If you're looking for a little bit of a price, I thought the 7, the 8, and the 9 were all interesting. This race doesn't have a ton of pace. The 8 Bubble Rock for Brad Cox was a horse that was really highly thought of last year. Won at Saratoga, came back, won the Matron in Grade 3, went to the Breeders' Cup, Juvenile Philly Turf, and just threw up a dud. But had a lot of trouble there. He did, hopped at the start, checked repeatedly, just a ton of trouble. We're now touching the turf for the second time now, 3-year-old campaign. The first time was in the Music City, which is a $471,000 stakes at Kentucky Downs. Now you're getting second off a layoff with a horse that could show some speed in a race where I don't see a ton of it. So a little interested in the 8. And I thought the 9 was interesting as well here. Sparkle Blue, second off the layoff. Really, ran in November, ran in the Jimmy Durante, didn't run well there, but comes back at Delaware in July, then doesn't run again until September. Now you're getting that second off the layoff. Nice steps forward here in the 3-year-old season. Going to need to improve off that last effort. But if she does, she's dangerous at 12-1.
Well, don't you think with the favorite out now, this is a race where you can bet a higher price?
Yeah.
It definitely happened because these other 2 are not great, right? So they can be beat. I thought the favorite before she scratched was a solid choice. Like you said, probably a single.
Yeah, everyone had to improve to beat Dolce Zell.
Yeah.
And now you have the 1-horse California Angel, who's not very consistent. You've got the 6, who we're seeing second-time North America. We don't totally know what to expect. And a lot of these other horses that showed talent at 2 that haven't put it together at 3, if one of them puts it together, that's how you end up with a price here.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we agree on the 1 and the 6 as the logical plays. The 8 and the 9, if you want to take a little bit more of a stab at a long shot there, that's Keeneland's 8th race on the card, the Grade 3 Valley View. Let's jump into the best bets here. We'll kick it off with Aaron, who is going unable to join us because he's headed up to Ames, Iowa, to see Iowa State take on Oklahoma this weekend. I have been to Iowa State before. Actually, a fun party school. Not going to lie. You can have a good time in Ames, Iowa. So I'm sure he'll have a blast up there. He's headed to Aqueduct. Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. He's headed to Keeneland here, race number 7. And he's going to go with the Brad Cox trainee, the 6-horse. The 6-horse Key of Life here, and his reasoning sound. This is actually a single for me, so I agree with him on this play. Horse has won her last 2 races. Now she jumps up into a stakes company for the first time, but that last race is good enough to absolutely bury this field, which isn't that great. I mean, that's really the thing here. This field just doesn't come up that great. You got the 7 Take Charge Brianna coming out of the Alcibiades. Didn't run very well there, and I actually liked her in that spot. I thought she'd like 2 turns, but she missed the break, and it was just kind of over from there. You've got Baby, got Bourbon. Irad picks up the mount on the 3-horse, but would need to take a huge step forward here. So if Key of Life can just replicate that effort last time out, should be able to get the job done in this spot. Did you look at this race at Keeneland, Papa Dude?
No, I did not.
I agree with Aaron. I think it's a good little bet here. So Keeneland race number 7, number 6, 8 to 5 on the morning line. I'll throw that up real quick right here just so that everyone can see it. He's going to try and go 2 for 2 here. He had a winner at Aqueduct yesterday who went off at 8 to 5, was able to get home. So that's Aaron's best bet there. Papa Dude, you're going to take a little money line parlay here. Try and make it, 4 in a row on these money line parlays now?
Yeah, and you got to keep doing it till you miss, right? Especially when you find one that you like.
Yep.
You don't do the parlay if you can't find anything. But we're getting 2 really good teams at plus 151. And you just can't pass that up, I don't think. Because even if you miss it, you just throw your hands up and go, you know what? I took 2 really good teams here and was getting plus money. That's exactly what happened last night. I got plus 200 on Dallas at home against a Washington team that's not very good. And then for some reason, the Grizzlies were only 3-point favorites out in Sacramento. The team hadn't won a game. You can't pass that up. So a little worried about the first one. Colorado is at New Jersey. The Devils are pretty good. They're solid. They're playing pretty well. They're going to be ready tonight with the defending Stanley Cup champion. And Colorado has started to notice that a little bit. They're the defending champs. And when you're the defending champs and you go anywhere, they're going to be ready to play you. So they struggle a little bit off the getting out of the gate, but I think they've turned that around some now. So I'm going to sweat that one out because hockey is always tough. Last night, Dallas couldn't pull away, and you just have to sit there and watch the whole thing. And it was 1-0 forever.
1-0 for a long time.
Anybody can score a goal and tie it up. I don't care. You got Ovechkin over there, and you're thinking 1-0. He's going to get one in there in a minute. So that one I had to sweat out. I think this will be a tough one too. And then you got the Bucks that are the only undefeated team in the NBA. They're at home against the Knicks team that's playing well. But traditionally, the Knicks don't win these kind of games. And I like the Bucks a lot. I think they've got the best player in the league, one of the best anyway. They do have a couple little injury issues, but that hasn't bothered them yet. So I like the chances tonight at plus 151, and I think this is worth taking a shot on. So that's where I'm heading.
Yeah, I like this Bucks move. I think that they're the best team in the East, and I don't mind taking on the Knicks there. I think the reason you're getting a decent price is because it's the Knicks. Kevin chiming in here saying he likes the over in that Devils-Avs game as well. Devils have been good. They have not been able to stop the puck, though, so that's going to be a key there. The Avs should be able to put up 4 in that spot. And if they can, then it's going to be good for your parlay and probably good for the over as well there. Yeah,
I agree. So I like this one.
So I added a third team to mine to make sure we could get that plus money number up there. We'll start out in the NHL. Carolina Hurricanes. Look, this is a team I'm going to lean on until I get burned by them. They're taking on the Islanders tonight in Raleigh. They are a very, very good home team. Started out the year 4-1-1. I think they just keep it rolling tonight and get past the Islanders pretty comfortably. Other 2 games for me, the Timberwolves play. I think they're one of the sneaky teams in the West who could make some noise, specifically with the injury concerns we have now down with the Pelicans in New Orleans. But they're taking on the Lakers. I am happy betting against the Lakers every single chance I get right now. That team cannot shoot a lick. They need me out there shooting threes because I would improve their percentage, and that's not saying that's not complimenting me. That's knocking the Lakers there. Davis still doesn't look right. LeBron has to do everything on this team. The Timberwolves have a ton of talent here. Rudy Gobert on the inside is a good matchup to take on the Lakers' inside presence. And so I'll take the more talented Timberwolves team over the Lakers. And then look, the Jazz have started out the year 4-1. But they pretty much had a fire sale over the summer. This isn't going to last very long. They have to go into Denver tonight and take on a Nuggets team that I like quite a bit that's getting healthy from last year. So I'm going to play a little three-teamer here. Give me the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, and the Hurricane on the money line. It's plus 161 if you put the three of them together. I think this is pretty solid. I guess the Nuggets would be the one I'm most concerned about, but I think all three of these teams have a very good shot at winning tonight.
Oh, I love it. I wished I'd have seen that. That's really good. I would be more concerned about the hockey just because a goalie can shut that. I think we're looking at a real issue with the Lakers before long. If this continues, LeBron's going to smart off, and I like LeBron, but he's not going to be able to stand playing on this shitty team. He's just not.
I have been hunting Lakers to miss the playoffs numbers for the last week or so, trying to see what I can get. You can get plus 145 in a couple places. I'm seeing if I can find anything bigger. I don't think the Lakers make the play-in game at this point, because at some point, and this is the problem, they don't even have their first round pick. So they can't even say, okay, we're going to, because if they had their first round pick, I would just tell Davis and James to shut it down.
Yeah.
Let's just tank the rest of the season. Let's get our first round, but they don't have it. It's not protected. It's gone. Yeah. So they can't even really do that. And then it's like, okay, how do we trade Westbrook? Do we trade Westbrook for Kyrie? Because Westbrook's contract is actually now an expiring contract. It's a huge one. So it's an asset, but you got to get a star player back for it. Who is that star player going to be to try and make this team better?
And who wants him? Is he done? He could be done,
I wouldn't pay Westbrook $500,000 to be on my team.
I wouldn't either, because I think he might be a cancer. He could be a cancer,
The only reason I'd want him on my team is if I'm tanking and I want to have the team be at least entertaining.
Yeah.
Right? And you just let him run the offense and be a train wreck and shoot terrible threes and throw up brick after brick and get his triple doubles. But at least it's entertaining basketball to watch in some sense, because he's just a freight train out there running up and down.
Yeah.
And you can also know you're going to lose because he's not a winning player.
No. So that, yeah. And I totally agree with you on the Nuggets and the Jazz. The Jazz came out, won 4 in a row, underdogs, I think, in almost every game because they traded everybody, their stars. So that has a tendency to even out after a while. And Denver's pretty good. So
before we sign off here, too, let's mention one of those stars. There is a marquee game in the NBA tonight. You got Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers heading into Boston to take on the Boston Celtics. Celtics are laying 6.5, total sitting at 218. This is going to be a fun one to watch. I didn't put any bet on it. Did you like any side of this one?
I think that might be too many points. I think Boston wins. Cleveland's one of those sneaky teams. They're pretty good. And the Celtics are fun to watch. I really do like Tatum. I like him. They got players and they're good offensively. They're fun to watch, but they can give up some points sometimes too. So that might be a little closer than, what is it, 6.5?
It's six right now, I believe it was. Is it 6 or 6.5? Yeah. 6.5. You're right.
Yeah, I think that could be a little. I think they win, but I think that might be a little closer than that. That'll be a good one.
I would tend to take the 6.5 as well with Cleveland. I might even sprinkle a little on the under. These are two sneaky good defensive teams. You've got Mosley on the Cleveland side, Brown and Tatum both good defensively for Boston as well. So maybe sprinkle a little on the under. I'm going to watch this game tonight because there's really not anything else that really piques my interest from a watching perspective. I do think these are two of the better teams in the East.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
All right, let's run through the best bets here before we sign off. Yesterday, wonderful day. Go 3-0, up $460 on the day. So love starting out the week in that manner. Today, Papa Dude taking the Avalanche and the Bucks in the NBA on a moneyline parlay plus 151. Aaron headed to Keeneland, race number 7, horse number 6, 8-5 on the morning line. I'm going to take the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, and the Hurricanes moneyline parlay plus 161. Like I said, 3-0 yesterday, plus 460, and all those college football winners as well. It was a fun night last night, just watching all those come home. Year to date, up $1,641 off a $100 base bet. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, we'll be back at 11 a.m. tomorrow to make sure we can make those noon college football kickoffs. Aaron will be up in Ames, so it's going to be me and Papa Dude. Maybe we'll get Magic to chime in here with a CFL bet as well. Thanks very much for joining us, everybody. Good luck today with all of your bets.